Welcome to Montreal, a city full of surprises where history blends with modern culture. In this video, I'll share my first impressions and some tips to help you make the most of your visit. Let's dive into the heart of Montreal together. A really great place for you to start your walking tour is at the McGill campus in the Ville Marie area. This is because McGill is regarded as not only the best university here in Canada, but also a very respected university all around the world. You see students enjoying their time here. Kind of made me miss university, even though my campus looked nothing like this. But beautiful architecture aside, Montreal also happens to be the second largest French-speaking city in the world, which for some reason took me by surprise. Walking away from McGill, I'm actually gonna cross some of the more modern zones of Ville Marie before heading down to the historical district. And what surprised me during my few interactions with Canadians from Montreal is that everyone here is essentially bilingual, but to the point where when they speak English, you can't imagine them speaking French, and vice versa. You'll be fine with both French and English around here, and even all the signs are in both languages. After a quick visit to the famous Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, I headed to Rue Sainte-Catherine, the city's primary commercial street. Even on a busy shopping street, you'll find gems like this. And this is all over Montreal. So you'll be walking around a street that you think is really modern, and then you'll come across something really historically significant that just stops you right in your tracks. It really has been the most memorable thing about Montreal for me so far. Most people would start their visit to the historical area of Montreal by going straight to the Notre Dame, the central square of the city, but I actually recommend starting from the beginning of the waterfront area. You can either walk along the water or along this pleasant green space, which gives you access to a lot more buildings and architecture, which is what I've personally been loving about the city so far. All the architecture here reminds me of someplace like Buenos Aires, where there were also French influences from the 18th, 19th centuries. And a lot of buildings in this particular zone are actually protected and listed. This is all pedestrian, which is really great. Walking all the way from the McGill campus pretty much to here has not been a problem at all. Side note, please do yourself a favor and have a traditional Canadian poutine while you're here. For me, it was the perfect fuel for a walk to the city's 19th century basilica, which left me quite impressed. 16 euros for a ticket, so probably on the expensive side, but totally worth it. It was definitely the nicest cathedral that I've seen outside of Europe. And walking around the historical area has just been such a pleasure overall. Now I'm heading towards the Quartier de Spectacle, which is the entertainment district. I didn't realize this, but in order for me to get to Quartier de Spectacle, I first had to go through Chinatown. You know how they say that Canadians are super kind and there's that stereotype that they're overly polite? Well, it turns out that that is actually true. A few examples include me just now at the museum. I was really interested in finding a particular work of art, so I asked one of the security guards who was just doing his job in the gallery, and he took time out of his job to give me a full tour of the exhibition. Like, how amazing is that? And then now I'm walking around with my camera filming myself, and whenever there's people in the back in my shot, they apologize to me when I'm taking up their space. Like, honestly, I haven't been to a city where the people are as genuinely nice and welcoming as this in a very long time. This zone is starting to look more like a city and less like a historical wonderland, in the sense that there is very real things that you will find in most big cities. You know, some homelessness, some litter, some construction. So Montreal isn't all just beautiful history. It's also a very real city where people live, and there has been development over the past few hundred years. we've seen the historical area, we've seen the more real area, let's just call it that. The entertainment district follows soon after. And this is St Denis. This is all very casual, but with a quirky and vibrant vibe to it. So I'm liking it a lot. It reminds me of Santiago de Chile or Medellin, actually. So it's funny how one city can take me back to so many other places I visited. And I'm sure if you come here, it'll be exactly the same for you. Montreal just seems to have something for everyone. I love how everything in the old town is lit up by night. It's so nice just to walk around and take in a city that completely transforms from day to night. I also stopped and had an amazing steak at Gibby's. The day has come to an end, and that means that it's the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're looking for inspiration to visit another fantastic place in Canada, I strongly recommend you click here.